Okay, so a topic of long controversy is Christianity. At its core is the Bible, and a lot of people think it's false. However, I am here to prove that the Bible is a reliable source. And things I want to raise about, usually most of the questions that are raised about the Bible is the text accurate? And is the Bible being distributed today a translation of the original text? So, is the text accurate? Of course it's accurate. Through historical parallels that are written in the Bible and that we find outside of the Bible, we can find that it is proven. So, in Luke 3:1, now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, when Pontius Pilate was governor of Judea, and Lysanias was tetrarch of Abilene. So that's really obvious, not that much to go on, but Dr. John McRae, a scholar and an archaeologist, says an inscription was later found from the time of Tiberius from AD 14 to 37, which names Lysanias as tetrarch in Abilene near Damascus, just as Luke had wrote it. So just as Luke had wrote it. Now, so we see that while it didn't actually say that much in the Bible, what it did say, not in the Bible, does parallel perfectly. So that's the start. And then Norman Geisler wrote, one prominent archaeologist carefully examined Luke's references to 32 countries, 54 cities, and 9 islands, finding not a single mistake. So, and he also says later that Luke is a historian of the first rank. Now what that means is that, I'll actually get into that later. So, we find in Ezekiel, the chapter of Ezekiel, the destruction of the city of Tyre. So, we know that historically Nebuchadnezzar laid waste to the mainland city in 585 BC. Now, the people of Tyre, 3 years earlier, heard this from Ezekiel and were like, oh man, let's not get destroyed, so let's go to an island, let's say just a half mile away. So they did. But wait, so that means that Ezekiel maybe wasn't true because the people are the city. Hold on, in 333 BC, Alexander the Great came and destroyed the island city, therefore making Ezekiel's statement true, that the people of Tyre and the city of Tyre were destroyed. So, now the second question, is the Bible being distributed today, translated from the original text? So, the Bible has been transcribed so painstakingly accurate that it has to be the original text. Let me explain. So, when you're transcribing, say you're copying your friend's notes from a class you missed, it says the word the. How do you think you write it? You write the, right? No. These people, you know what they wrote? They saw the word the, they wrote T-H-E space. And if they made a mistake on a single letter, they didn't just like, oh, let's cross it out and write another E. No, they threw away the whole paper because that's how important it was to them that it was accurate. So, and Simon Greenlee, a legal expert and an atheist at the time he studied the Bible because he was looking for fallacies in it. And when he studied the Bible, he examined the entire Bible and using the same techniques that he used when he looked at witness statements to see if there were any holes or if they were telling a lie, he found no inconsistency between individual writers of the Bible. And he keeps going. Now, if that's not enough, modern scholars have put their faith in less. Let's think about this. So, let's think of some greats like Plato and Aristotle. Now, we take what they wrote as facts, especially their historical documents. That's what we think happened in ancient Greek and ancient Rome. Right? Right. Okay. So, Plato was written in 400 BC, and the earliest copy was 980. Do you know how long of a time interval that is? That is 1,300 years. You know what you can do in 1,300 years? Let's see. The time you walk from your car to your classroom, how many things have you lost? Like 17 probably. That's just that's just ideas and not just the things. So say you have manuscripts and you hold on them for 1,300 years, guess how many you're going to lose? Probably a lot. So guess how many manuscripts there are? There are 7. Now we think that whatever Plato wrote was fact. Is that true? Yes. Alright, now I'm not quite done yet. Let's look at Aristotle. He wrote 384 to 322 BC. And the earliest copy of his manuscript we have is 1100 AD. The time interval, 1400 years. Looking back at it, okay, so now if you have another 100 years, you're going to lose more things. But ironically, we have 49 manuscripts, and we take what he has as fact as well. Now let's look at the New Testament. It was written in 45 to 95 AD, and the earliest copy was 125 AD. You know how many years that is? Let's take 95 AD, just so that way it's easiest. That's 25 years. So compared to 1,300 years, 1,400 years, 25 years. That's a little bit. That's not that much. And you know how many manuscripts we have? Anyone guesses? 7? Anyone?
4.
We have 24,970 manuscripts of the New Testament. Now, let's think about this. We take what Plato has with 7 manuscripts as fact. Why can't we take the New Testament, which has 24,970 manuscripts as fact? So, Greenleaf states, if modernists apply to the Bible the same standards that historians and textual scholars apply to secular literature of ancient times, the biblical records would be accepted as some of the most reliable and credible of all ancient documents. Thank you.
All right, you do state a claim pretty clearly at the beginning. It's quite a broad claim, so I think you're going to have a tough time, especially in the amount of time that you have. But I thought that you presented 2 important issues, and you talked about them pretty clearly. There's a lot of data in there, but the inferences need to be a little bit stronger. One thing that I think might be problematic is I'm not sure that all of the secondary issues that you have would be sufficient to support the claim that you're making. I think there might be, in fact, a narrower claim that it would support about the historical accuracy of events depicted in the Bible. I think you could maybe make a stronger argument for that. The internal signposting was okay. I could pick out when you went to the second point. It could be a little bit sharper, but it wasn't problematic. The evidence, there's a mixture of examples that you use and some stuff that's presented as factual data that we don't get a source citation on. I don't doubt that you probably have it accurate, but you do want to give the source citations on that. In 2 or 3 places you did cite authorities on some of this information, and you try to portray the one as a reluctant piece of testimony also, and I thought that was a good way to try and build some credibility for that particular author. Again, I do think the generalization is a little bit broad for the amount of evidence that you've got here, but if you narrowed it down, I think it would be focused a little bit more and work better. You do a nice job trying to connect with the audience and explain ideas, and I thought that was the best part of the speech. All right, thank you.